everybody, this is Chris back with another English learning tips video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to receive all of my new videos and hit the bell icon so that you get a notification whenever I post a new video. Today I want to talk about how you can improve your English speaking ability. A lot of people have asked me this question. A lot of people are struggling with their English speaking and they want to know how they can practice, and I want to give you some tips about how to improve your speaking from my experience learning languages such as Chinese, which I've learned to a very high level. Some of the things that helped me, and I hope that they will be helpful to you. So number one is to think about the questions that people always ask you when you meet them for the first time. So when you meet somebody, they will always ask you questions about your living situation, your studies or your work, maybe your hobbies, your family, or your favorite TV shows, your favorite sports and movies, things like that. So you can actually think about these questions in advance. Think about the answers to questions like, where are you from? Where do you live? Where did you study? What did you study? Your job, your hobbies, your favorite things, and your travel, whether you've traveled to an English-speaking country, what you want to do in the future. Think about the answers to all of these questions in English and practice saying responses to these questions, because you're going to have to answer these questions a lot. So if you can prepare in advance, you will always have something to say when you come across a native English speaker or you have to use English. And you can practice out loud, you can remember these responses, you can write some notes down, and then next time you have a conversation you will have a lot to say. It doesn't mean that you have to give a speech every time somebody talks to you, but you can use little bits in conversations. I found that this is really helpful. Another way that you can prepare in advance is think about the situation before it happens. For example, if you are going on holiday to the UK and you are going to have to get your way around the city, you might need to think about ways to ask for a bus, a tourist bus, different guided tours around the city, and you can think about the vocabulary that you're going to need on this tour and the sentences that you're going to need to say. For example, if you're going out to buy a light bulb, you can think about how to ask that in English and prepare before you walk in the shop and ask for something. That way you won't look silly, you won't look like you don't know what you're saying, and it will be much easier for you. You won't get anxious when you have to start speaking in English. Okay, the third tip that I have for you is get better at asking questions in English. It's really important to be able to ask a lot of questions when you're talking to people, because conversation is basically made of two parts: talking about yourself and your own opinions, and asking the other person about their opinion and their ideas about something. So always have some questions in your head to ask somebody, like, what do you think? Have you ever been in a situation like that? What did you do for your holidays? Think about questions that you can ask other people and practice asking a lot of different questions in English in response to different things. Listen to when people answer questions and get good at this, because if you can ask people questions in a conversation, you'll be able to keep that conversation moving, because a lot of conversation is actually listening to what the other person is saying and being able to ask them questions according to what they say. So if somebody says, oh, I went to Greece last year, you can say, oh, where did you go to? How was that trip? What did you do there? You can think of a lot of questions to ask them. So this is really important, but don't ask too many questions in a conversation. Otherwise, it will sound like you're giving them a job interview. That's not something that you want. My next tip is to practice thinking in English. What do I mean by thinking in English? I mean getting into the habit of getting your brain around speaking English. So normally you might be speaking your own language, whether that's Spanish or French or Hindi or another language. You're not used to speaking in English. You need to practice this, because when you're speaking effectively, you're converting your thoughts into language. This is a skill that needs to be practiced, just like driving a car. And of course, practice makes perfect. So always think of how to say things in English. When people are talking, try to translate what they're saying in your head into English from your native language. Talk about your day in English. Think about what you did today. Can you describe that? Can you talk about that in English? Think about what's around you. Can you describe what you can see in English? Maybe practice talking about a news article that you read in English, telling a story in English, or telling a story from a TV show, or telling the plot of a movie in English. So always try to think, how do I say that in English? How would I say that sentence in English? And the more you get your head practicing, thinking and speaking in the language, the better you will be when you have to use that language in a real situation. Alright, next tip is to do more listening, because the more listening that you do, the more you listen to English, the better you will be at speaking English, because you have to have these words and these ideas in you in order to be able to speak them out loud. So by listening to a lot of English, whether that's radio, TV shows, videos on YouTube, or courses, you can listen to a lot of different English sources, and this will help you to speak. But don't just listen, you also need to practice yourself. Alright, and the next one is obviously practice speaking as much as you can. Try to find opportunities to speak English. Maybe think about where you live. Are there any places where there are a lot of travelers or foreigners? Maybe shops that they like to go to, bars where a lot of English-speaking people might go to, restaurants or universities where there's a lot of foreign students. Or maybe you live in a town where there's some tourist attractions. You could go to those places and try to make some conversations with tourists who speak English and try to practice with them. You could try practicing English with another friend who's learning English. You can try speaking English to each other and giving each other some suggestions. It's always better to try to practice with another person if you can. If you have kids, you could try to speak to your son or your daughter in English if they can speak English. That could be a really good way. Or maybe your wife, you could, if they can speak English, or your husband. Other ways you can practice speaking could be recording a vlog or videos in English, just like I'm doing right now. Making a video diary in English, or just posting videos to Instagram in English. You can also record yourself on a video or on your phone. Even just the audio is okay. And listen to yourself and analyze your mistakes. You can find a native speaker, teacher, or partner to practice with online on a platform like italki. This is a good website to use, or the HelloTalk app. A lot of different websites and apps where you can find native speakers. Sometimes you have to pay a small cost to have a lesson or speak with them, but it can be really useful. Speaking with native speakers is always really good. You can ask for some feedback after you finish speaking. Where did you make mistakes and how can you improve? They can give you some advice, or a teacher can also help you. Alright, that's loads of tips for you about how you can improve your English speaking. If you've got any ideas of your own, please do put them in the comments. If you've got any questions, please do write me a comment. I will get back to you. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Check out my website for the full post and all of my latest updates, speakenglishwithchris.com. And I will be back with another video next time. Take care, everybody.